Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt
And
Rose.
I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
We are here with our latest edition of Big Brother 28 live feed spoilers. And man, what a day it has been. Like, the feeds were crazy this morning. There was like constant indecision, like leading up to like 2 or 3 this afternoon as to what was possibly even going to happen based on all these different scenarios.
I mean, even watching it tonight when it all played out and Angela won the blockbuster, we saw people whispering like they were at tribal council to be like, all right, we're going this way. Okay, we're going this way while they're all talking at the couches. I was like, oh my goodness, are we actually going to see something flip out? But it did not.
No, it was a really, really chaotic, interesting day. Like, there are some things that happen on the feeds that we'll get into a little bit later that I feel like could have really
Yep.
long-term ramifications on this game. But okay, since you mentioned though the blockbuster and Angela,
Hmm.
let's just pose a question here. Is it fair or foul that Tucker basically taught Angela everything like he was a beauty pageant coach? Like, he was even like posting clips on his Instagram stories, like cheering her on and being like, see what I have told you?
Listen, we have seen on Survivor specifically where people have like 3D printed puzzles to do in their own backyard and
Yes.
stuff like that. I just feel like people know some of the things that are going to be coming up. And while he can give her the advice to do that, that didn't necessarily mean that she was going to be able to actually make it happen.
Yeah.
And she did, but I mean, Haley was pretty close on her heels.
There's a few different things I just have running through my head with that competition. Number one, this is the second competition in Big Brother in a row, and I don't say this often that I would actually want to do. Like, that looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I would probably fall on my face because I would be trying to grab one of the balls and I'd miss it. But no, that I think was a really funny competition. It was really, really intense and close. And beyond all
Yeah.
that, yes, I think Angela clearly had an advantage in that she had information as to what to do from Tucker. But at the same time, that is really clutch to go in there
Yeah.
against two much younger, more physical people to come out of that on top, especially like Haley, who's played softball and sports and like all that sort of stuff.
It looked like Haley actually had kind of figured out the same thing that Angela was doing, except she was trying to do it up against the wall to actually catch
Yes.
them. So, I mean, she kind of figured it out partway through of how to get through this.
I kind of was riding the energy and the adrenaline because after Angela comes in screaming she's won this, I was just like, could Angela actually win this show? Like, I'm trying to convince myself that it's possible. And I mean, I think it's
Hmm.
possible for a lot of the different icons, but I mean, we'll talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
The end of Kamu's game, but also what we mentioned earlier, all about the live
Yeah.
feeds. Before we go any further, though, be sure to join us on our YouTube memberships and Patreon
Hmm.
because over there we have exclusive Big Brother videos every single week. We have been doing this all season long, and
Hmm.
we have another brand new Big Brother exclusive coming this week. We do not want you guys to miss that. And also, joining our YouTube memberships, that like really does help to support us. It keeps our lights on and allows us to just have all this fun with you guys talking Big Brother all season long.
Thank you so much to everyone who has been helping to keep a roof over our heads. Really appreciate
We
it.
really, really do. Thank you guys so very much. Okay, let's get into the demise of Kamu here because
Hmm.
like Kamu, incredibly, incredibly polarizing as a player. Like, I do think this was the right move for everyone to make because he is just too dangerous. Like, he's so slick and he's so capable of winning competitions left and right.
Absolutely. He could have easily made it to the end of this, but I'm sitting back, I'm just like, for Mallory and Melody and Lala and Taylor, was this really the right decision? I mean, I know they needed 5, but like, oh man, it was tough because I really was like hearing what they had been talking about. They were really waffling today a lot on
Yes.
this of where they should land on this because Kamu had completely left the icons and he was going to go after them if
Hmm.
he ended up in power. I think the biggest problem in this game, and I say this as a Druther, is Drew and Barrett because they are not actually aligned with anybody. Like it feels like they are with the icons, but I feel like if the wind shifted, they would be over here with FAP. And because nobody can 100% rely on them. There is no like moving the vote
No, like they're not good allies in that way, and that they're
to anybody.
yeah, like they're not even good allies to each other. Like part of what was been
No.
amusing over the past couple of days, it's like when they get information, one of them feels, I think, all this internal pressure that they have to tell the icons this information first, because if the
Right.
other person does it, then they don't look anywhere near as trustworthy. And I know that looks comical and frustrating to a lot of us, but that is a part of the game that they're playing. If they're in an alliance with the icons, like they want to seem valuable because those are people who could win competitions.
Also, Drew and Barrett both realize, I'm sure, that they know that they're on the bottom of that alliance. The icons are all going to take each other over them, likely. And that
Yes.
if they have to cut somebody, it's going to be Barrett or Drew. So they're both kind of like, okay, who can bring mommy and daddy the information the fastest? And it really sucks for them. And I really wish that one or both of them would find a way to break away from that and just make the move over to the other side. And
Yeah.
depending on who's the HOH this week, it's possible they might,
Yeah, they're
but
gonna
not Barrett. He's never leaving D side.
Drew is gonna have to do something eventually here if he wants any chance of winning, because like if he just goes to the end, like let's say he does go to the end with one of the icons, but he never really leaves them, what's his argument at that point? That he just won a couple of competitions at the right side? Because it wouldn't have been because he's made any big strategic moves or anything.
No, Drew and Barrett are both people that a lot of people in the house, especially the icons, could take to the end and win.
Yeah, like they need to figure something out. And both Mallory and Melody, like they did talk to Drew about a lot of this over the past 24 hours
Yeah.
because they had settled. And yeah, like you said, there was a ton of waffling about whether or not, should we keep Kamu? Even if they don't personally like Kamu, it's sort of a situation where he can win a lot of competitions.
Yeah.
He is a shield. Those icons, they're not as good at competitions as Kamu is necessarily, but there is three of them. We know that they throw us under the bus left and right, but I think they just felt so cornered by the situation they were in with that alliance, and Drew didn't want to flip.
Okay, they got very, very, very lucky that Haley didn't win this and come off the block, because I feel like if Haley was there, the five of them would have been able to actually keep Kamu, and they wouldn't need Drew or Barrett. And then it would have gotten really ugly, because earlier today, Devens threatened them.
Yeah, okay, this is what maybe, in my view, Devens' biggest mistake of the entire game. Where if I did what Devens did, I would have to assume after the fact nobody's ever going to want to work with me from this side. So effectively, what he did is we've had Drew and Barrett doing, what they feel like they have to do and relay all this information, including Drew relaying information that Mallory and Melody are very on the fence, that they want to
Right.
keep Kamu, that they've been coming to them and making these sort of pitches. Devens effectively tells Drew, and I mean, D later gets in on the act too, but says, if that happens and they don't vote with us, I'm holding you guys accountable because you've brought them in. They're a part of this alliance. I'm
Yep.
going to assume that you knew about a flip, regardless of if you voted that way. You are then in on it. I am blowing up the house. I am going to tell everybody everything.
Okay, now how much of this is a real threat, right? Because if Devens does that, he's also blowing up his own spot, as well as D, as well as Angela. Because if you're gonna blow that up for him, for Drew and for Barrett, then you're also doing that to yourself. You're just exposing everybody at that point. But at that point, it may not matter to Devens anymore.
No,
It's just, are you going to call the bluff on that? But they didn't end up in that situation. Again, Drew and Barrett got very, very lucky that Haley did not come off the block.
it would have given Melody and Mallory an opportunity to just make like that quick little spur of the moment decision. And given how much they've flip flopped about this already, like who knows, that could have happened, and we could
Yeah.
have been seeing absolute, complete, and total chaos. But for Devens, yeah, would you go through with it? It's a hard thing to really know, but it just feels like to me, for a guy who's trying to present himself as Mr. Wholesome, America's dad, to threaten your own alliance members and say, don't, if this happens, it's your guys' fault. If I'm Drew and if I'm Barrett, I am just going to be like, go go pound sand. Like, I'm not going to say it to your face, but I'm going to be
Eat a
thinking
bag
it.
of grass.
Yes, it's why do you want to work with that guy at this point, dudes? Like, have some respect for where you are in the game. You have other allies. Don't let this guy walk all over you.
Absolutely, but I still feel like they would have allowed that to happen. If Haley had come off the block, I just feel like they would have tried to bring them over and they still would have voted with the icons and the line would have been drawn in the sand anyways. I mean, this Mosh Pit alliance, it wasn't a real alliance. They all kind of knew that this was just an alliance of convenience. I mean,
Yes.
we saw Mallory and Melody talking about it on the show, on the feeds, that they're just like, it's very convenient that you guys have shown up at our doorstep right now.
Yeah, it is really, really. They're not dumb to a lot of this. And the way the show actually did a pretty good job of editing together as well. The way that Angela proposed the Mosh Pit Alliance anyway, to really plant that seed that they know that Drew and Barrett have been working with the icons for a while.
Yeah.
Like, they may not know for how long, but there was also this contentious moment that happened overnight where Melody and Drew were talking, and if she was just sort of like, if you have been working with him the whole game and you're not telling me, we're not going to be friends anymore after, maybe that's a threat as well. And maybe it's like, okay,
Yes,
then
it is.
do we believe that? Am I being biased here because I like Melody and I want to see her go far?
No, it's also a threat. I mean, I feel like Drew would want to continue this friendship afterwards, and Melanie may be telling the truth. She may not be. She may be in the moment being like, this is how I feel. Who knows? Maybe she'll feel differently after the show, because that information is absolutely going to come out that he has been working with them the entire time. So he is going to lose that friendship.
Yeah, and I think in the back of his brain, he has been kind of freaking out a little bit. And I mean, maybe that's why he's been sort of telling a lot of people things, including Devens. But I mean, ultimately, like you said, he's getting a little bit lucky coming out of this situation.
Yeah, I mean, how was he actually going to control two other people's votes? Like, it doesn't work like that. Like, he can schmooze, and
Yes.
he is very social, and he is very charismatic. All of those things are true.
Mhm.
However, it hasn't been entirely working on the two of them. Like, Mallory and Melody have sometimes felt that way and want to work with him, and sometimes not, where they're just like, we don't know if we really trust everything that he's saying.
The dynamics of the house coming out of tonight's episode, like, they're really, really interesting now that Kamu is gone, because you do have Yash, Taylor, and Lala, who, was left out on everything and nobody seemingly told her much. But, like, that is one side of it. And then you have Melody and Mallory, who, yeah, they have FAP, but you alluded to the like live tribal whispering going on.
Yes.
In this. Like, and they have talked about how no matter what happened, they wanted to make sure Yash and Taylor were a little bit aware of it. They still want to work with him. They don't necessarily want to put them up in the event they win HOH.
Mhm.
Then you've got Drew and Barrett. Where do they go now at this point? Like, Drew seems to realize, I need to turn on the icons at some point. When do I
Yes.
do it? Then you've got Barrett, who just wants to go to the mosh pit till final 7, so it seems.
Oh my goodness, Barrett. I know you're living your like fanboy dream here, but like, can you play the game at some point? Like, there isn't that much time left. There's like 6 weeks left. We're getting deeper into the second half of this season.
Yes.
When are you going to play and not just be a fan? Like, be both.
That's the
My
thing.
guy, I really expected more from you. My guy, I take that back. You're not my guy. You need to play better than this. You need to play at all.
I wanted someone who is kind enough to shout us out on the feeds to know a little bit more about what it is that we all want to actually watch on Big Brother.
Hey, I still appreciate that, but you're still not playing well. You're still playing like trash because you're not actually playing anything.
No, I mean, with Drew, like, he's told us what the plan is, and it's like, okay, I understand what the plan is with Drew.
Okay, he has said what the plan is, and I do think that he was probably telling us the truth, because it's unlikely that somebody is going to go to the cameras and lie. However, tinfoil
Dot,
hat.
dot, dot,
Dot,
dot.
dot, dot,
I
dot,
know where
dot.
this is
There
going.
was a power that is still on the table that this guy is like, you know what? I'm going to butter up America and all the truthers out there, to all my truthers in the crib. We're going to put it out there so that you guys will send me that power. And that's, I do think in the back of his mind, I'm not going to say that that's the only reason. I don't think it is. But do I think that that was in there? Yeah, I'm sure it was. It's not a bad move.
That's an even better tinfoil hat than the possibility that they put this particular blockbuster on the show thinking that maybe Tucker and Angela, who have some sort of relationship, would have talked about it. But no, listen, I did vote for Drew a number of times, and it wasn't just because of the speech. Like, the speech made me feel better about voting for him.
Totally. I totally agree. Like, that's why I'm saying I think it's a little from column A, a little from column B. It's a little bit of both. You know what I mean? It's a little bit of both.
And I do think that Drew is probably going to win the next time capsule. Like, we've seen a lot of what's going on. It felt like the top three from kind of what was happening online was Drew, Taylor. Taylor did have a lot of votes. Like, there's a chance it's her. And then Kamu had a lot of votes, and none of those matter anymore.
Oh my goodness. They really do need to Love Island the situation. Just make it like a short period of time after eviction before the next episode on Unlocked or whatever. Tomorrow. Don't make it tomorrow morning. Make it tomorrow evening.
Yeah, just try to find a way to manage this better moving forward if you're going to do a little bit of something like this. But before we get into a couple of just the silly moments that I did enjoy from this episode, let's talk briefly about this HOH coming up, because there's already been some interesting conversations about who's going to try, who's not going to try.
Yeah.
It sounds like, at least for now, Melody and Mallory may not be that eager to win this HOH. I mean, watch them go ahead and win it. And it's just like, okay, everything you guys have said completely out the window, but they have been very much of the mindset that, all right, maybe this next HOH cycle, something happens to Haley. She ends up going. I mean, it's possible Yash also ends up being targeted, but I think they are of that mindset of we need to win the one after that. Like, that is really a chance we can make a big move, which I guess, but still, I think you need to try.
Listen, I do feel that they need to try. They're losing their numbers and they're losing them fast. But I do understand their idea of, okay, maybe not this one, maybe the next one, because we've proven our loyalty to the mosh pit. Their problem is that they're really relying on Drew and Barrett, and it is the thing that is going to be the complete undoing of their game.
Speaking of Drew and Barrett, I would also be very surprised if either one of them win this next HOH, because it's just like, do they want to put themselves in that spot? Yes, I understand. They could just nominate Lala, Taylor, Yash, call it a day. But then it's like, well, then who's the replacement now? I guess it could be Haley, but it's still just like, they don't seem to want to make these sort of decisions. I'm going to call this right now. I'm going to tell everybody who the HOH winner is going to be. So there has not been a repeat HOH all season long.
No.
Haley's getting the HOH room back, everybody. Be prepared for another round of
I was actually thinking that we were going to see Dee back in that again. I just feel like it's been enough time that she'd be like, you know what? It's time for... She knows that she's in a bit of danger at this point, that I could see her being really motivated to win that next HOH.
It is funny you say that, because she was actually the second person I had in my brain for like that very reason. Like, it feels like it's either one of the icons or maybe some... Because it's all these middle people probably aren't even going to try that hard.
No, they're not. And there aren't two Diamond Powers of Veto. There ain't two of these jokers, right? So next time she hits the block, it's probably lights out. So I feel like she knows she's in trouble. She's got to regain some control over the mess that she's made because she's been bored. And try to find a way to smooth some things out.
Yeah, I will say that while forming the mosh pit was a smart move from the icons, I think they've done a pretty bad job over the past couple of days when it comes to really making Mallory and Melody feel comfortable. It's sort of like they created this alliance for the reason that they wanted Kamu out of the game, which is a good reason. He's a huge threat. But then they were just like, all done. And then they didn't have to do anything else, didn't have to have any conversations.
Yeah.
It was just really, really bizarre. But okay, a couple of things from this episode that I think are just worth mentioning. Dee voting to evacuate Kamu legitimately made me laugh. It is the funniest thing that Dee has said so far this entire season.
Funny.
And it just like, I know Kamu handled it really well going out the door. I know it's
He did.
TV and you
Yeah.
want to be class, but it's just like there was a lot of frustration building about him and the way in which he was playing, the lies that he was also telling. So it's like, I'm not mad that there are some people that are just kind of like, you know what? I'm not sad to see him go at all.
Yeah, he just feels like he's had a lot of PR training when he was leaving the house. Everything's good, everything's great out
Yeah.
there with Julie. I mean, he is an MMA fighter, so he probably has had a lot of PR training, but he felt like he was very PR training out there.
Okay, there were two things he did, and yeah, credit to Kamu's game. I do think you played a pretty good game.
Yeah.
You know, you really got hampered by this twist, but I just cringed. I never want to hear someone talk about their future wife in Instagram or whatever DMs it is, and
So creep show. I
yes,
don't. I oh my god! If you're
no,
out here looking for a wife through Instagram models, what is happening? It was so cringy.
no, never ever do. Also, do not pitch yourself that hard to be on other shows while speaking. You are on this show. I know, Kamu, you probably think you're gonna be on the challenge with Keanu, with all these other
And you
people.
will be.
But it's just like, I don't want to hear about it while it's Big Brother. And I say this even for players I like. Do not bring up other shows you want to be on. Don't talk about how many Instagram followers you like. None of it is not a good look while you are playing this show.
No.
Okay, so like really the question for the week moving forward is going to be whether or not Devens' threat ends up becoming a much bigger issue, or is it just the fact that these icons are all looking out for each other, and with Kamu gone, there really isn't that big of a target on that side anymore, so
Mhm.
everything can kind of start to fall apart.
Yeah.
But that is where we are with this edition of Big Brother 28 live feed spoilers. Let us know, what did you think about Kamu's eviction, about Angela getting so much help from Tucker to the point she's shouting him out on the show?
Mhm.
And be sure to join our YouTube memberships for exclusive Big Brother videos every single week. Thank you so much.
Thank
We will
you.
see you here next time.